What's up, yo? How's everybody doing today? All right, so let me make sure. The HBO series Watchmen, and I watched the movie Watchmen. Loved it. Loved the whole movie. Uh, it's just reminds me of some Frank Miller stuff. I don't know who produced it, Watchmen, but the writing is just great. So I was reluctant to watch the Watchmen HBO series because I didn't think I would get the same great writing. It's like when you eat something real good. You know what I'm saying? You want that same taste when you go back to the restaurant. But when they make an amalgamation of it, you're just like, oh, this ain't gonna taste the same. So I'm not even gonna bother and disappoint myself. Well, let's just say that I was undisappointed. I was very happy with. I think I'm on what the six or seven um, show or episode, excuse me. But when I was watching it, I noticed how Regina King, big ups to Regina King, love her. She's done so much in movies and voiceovers and TV. Just love her. She plays Sister Knight. Dope. Love it. Love the writing. And I'm so glad that they have her, like either her or there's some other sisters who could have played that. Angela Bassett, you know what I'm saying? Well, Angela Bassett might have been over the top. Angela Bassett could have easily been in there though. I love her on Mission Impossible. So Angela Bassett, she would have been more, but she could have been in there though. But not for that part. But I love the fact that Regina King is in there, doing it. So I'm like, yeah, she's a strong sister. And then they have her lined up with, I don't know the dude's name, the good looking brother, you know, dark skinned, tall brother. I'm just like, okay, this brother's going to be doing some ass kicking too. This guy's a housewife. He's just at home. He's at home taking care of three white kids. And I'm like, wait, what? That's all this brother does? Sits around in cardigans? This brother is not out here kicking ass too. But Regina King is out here kicking ass, and I ain't got no problem with women kicking ass. I'm all for that. What up? It's the new spill. What's the new spill? What are you talking about? But so I'm looking, so I go into the next series. Watch the next episode. Excuse me. Go in the same series, next episode of Watchmen, and they introduced Regina King's grandfather, right? Tread what about what? Tread soft about what? What am I treading soft about? Anyway, so next thing you know, I'm like, they go into the grandfather's history, and then they show how the grandfather is hooded justice. He's the first person to fight crime back in the 40s, and he's whooping white people's ass, white police, whatever. And then this other guy from another city hears about him. Some white dude, tall blonde head dude, was like, I want to join up with Hooded Justice, yada, yada, yada. And then the next scene, after they introduce each other to each other, the black guy is screwing this white guy. And look, that's such a statement. I'm thinking, okay, you guys wrote this in here. There's going to be, like, this is going to be pivotal. Like, okay, these guys are undercover lovers because Hooded Justice is married to a black woman. There's a brother married to a black woman. He has a child. As far as I can see, them two sleeping together has nothing to do with nothing. I thought the wife was going to end up leaving him because he was sleeping with the white dude. She leaves him because the son wants to be just like the dad and fight justice with a hood on and makeup. And then she's like, no, I'm taking my kid. We're going back to Tulsa. And I'm like, I thought it would be for cheating, especially with another man. No, so in return, it had no business being written in there. It's like these people want you to endure homosexuality so bad. They want homosexuality to be accepted so much. They keep putting it in your face, and it's just like, okay, if you're not bothered by homosexuality, you shouldn't say anything. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Homosexuality bothers me. All right, but it bothers me only when you're trying to shove it down my throat. Now, some girl, she did a video. She was talking about why are people bothered by homosexuality doing whatever. She's like, they're not bothered by straight people when they're eating each other's face. A couple is kissing in PDA, and then you see every TV show has a sex scene. Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, and I'm just like this. And then she says, because it's the norm to do. It's just like, well, what if you reach back and look at how this country was formed and what the principles this country was formed on? Normal is man and a woman, biblically. This is how the country was formed. So when you're so used to normal, even though homosexuality has been around for the longest time, but when you're so used to normal and then you start seeing abnormal, it's gonna make people, look at it like either they're gonna accept it or they're not. You know what I'm saying? And if they accept abnormal in homosexuality, they have to reach back to their background and go, why am I accepting it or not accepting it? Can I associate with people who are homosexual? Sure, I can, but I don't want to practice what they're practicing. I don't need to always see it presented, you know, and then I don't need to see like when I'm looking at these shows, I see a lot of the women are heroes now, and the men are pretty much they're less than manly, and that's really what bothers me. It's just like, okay, you show two women kiss on each other. Okay, you show two men, screwing each other. Okay, fine. You got your homosexual crowd. That's what you wanted to do. Fine. But when you show a race of person who is less than what they should be depicted as, then yes, I have a problem with that. I most definitely do have a problem with that. Okay, it's the new trend watching roles. Women and men are acting like women. Yeah, making dudes soft. Yeah, yeah. See, that's the thing. And people are like, "Oh, you're homophobic." It's just like, okay, well, I don't go out seeking to look at homosexual material. As a matter of fact, I just fast forwarded the whole scene. I don't want to seek homosexual material. I'm not a homosexual. I love women. Uh, but okay, but we all realize that they're there. It's the diluting diluting the man is it's what it's doing to me, and then that image being betrayed. It's just like, and then that image being accepted. It's like you're pushing. You're not just saying, "Oh, it's okay for a man and a man to sleep together." That's not what this is. You're pushing a whole narrative to dilute a man. You're trying to take something away. You know what I'm saying? When masculine homosexuals get together, they're still masculine. You know what I'm saying? In their eyes, they still think it's a masculine act. We just like men, but we're still masculine. I say different, but nonetheless, okay, that's fine. That's what y'all want to do. Nonetheless, when you are a full grown man, you grew up man. All you know from your uncles, your dad, be a man. Other elders that were around you, be a man, blah, blah, blah. You get this instilled in you, and that's what you are. You have no desire to be anything else. It's not like they beat up on you. They were just like, okay, what are you going to be? You're just like, I'm going to be a man. You made that choice to be a man. You made that choice to love a woman. You're making that conscious choice. They didn't beat it in you. And then they seen the route that you're going and they helped you along in that route. This is what you know. So when you start seeing something other than that, you're just like, well, this isn't right to me. This isn't what I want to digest. Doesn't feel right in my spirit. And listen, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There are beautiful people all over the planet. There are guys who look better than me. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with I am not gonna go up to that brother like, yo, you a real hand. Okay, the dude looks better than me. So what? Big deal. There's beautiful people everywhere. That's not an issue. It's not. I feel uncomfortable. No, that's not it. I feel uncomfortable when you're trying to make me think something other than what I want to. I feel uncomfortable when you have two Santa Clauses that are both male and you're trying to shove that down my children's mouth. You're trying to press upon them that it's okay for two Santas to knock boots. No, no, that I'm not accepting. I'm not accepting. That's a whole different agenda. That's an agenda. See, normal people, or not normal people, but straight people, you don't usually have a straight agenda. We don't think about it. It's just like, a man is attracted to a woman. That's what happens. You go on and you get with the woman, and boom, and there it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's an agenda. Now, there are sexual agendas. That's different. So in the movies, when you see a sex scene, it's because the writers or whoever felt like, hey, there's a sexual agenda right here. And sometimes it's a lustful agenda. So you got to be careful of what movie it is that you're watching. Because sometimes they just want you to be horny and go out and do what they do. That's totally different. There have been plenty of successful movies that had no sex scenes in them whatsoever. Uh, but nonetheless, some directors will come along and change it, like the whole Cuties uh, movie that they had out. That movie wasn't as graphic with the children as America made it. It was already at the France Sundance, film festival, and once America got a hold of it, they turned the whole thing up a notch and had these kids out here, twerking and shaking all kind of body parts that only grown-ups should be doing, and that's why they ran afoul with the federal government. The federal government was like, we're going to investigate everybody. So I've already talked about that. But when I'm watching these series, I don't want to sit there and endure that. I don't. And the thing about it is, Watchmen wasn't the movie wasn't great just because of the action. The action was off the chain. It was great because of the dialogue. It was great because of how they changed presidents and how you could see how a world could be like this. And the same thing with the series. The writing in Watchmen is so important that sometimes I have to, like I have the thing where you read along, the words are coming up too. Sometimes I have to stop and read what they're saying because I'm like, I want to digest the whole thing. I love the movies. Like I get a catharsis out of being in the movies every day. When the sun goes down, my whole house is dark, and I have two screens, two computer screens, and I will turn on whatever movie or whatever series I'm gonna watch because it reminds me of the movies. And I sit there and eat dinner and watch my movie, and that's my thing. That's what I do. So when I get to a scene like this, I don't want to see two guys screw it. I don't want to see it. So I fast forward it, and it hurts. It hurts because I miss all of the dialogue. Like I don't want to see them laying in bed together. I don't want to see them hugged up. I don't see all that. And there's dialogue being said there that I really want to hear, and I really want to know what they're saying because it's going to be pivotal. But I have to fast forward it because it just, to me, it's so immoral what they're doing. And everybody sins, I know. But the immorality or the abomination of it all it's to a point where I just can't. I don't want to absorb it. I don't want that spirit running around in my house. I don't want none of that in here. You know what I'm saying? I could look at a man and a woman getting busy all day. You know, get it, homeboy. Put one in there for me. But when a man and a man, I don't. Any show portraying that, if I still want to watch it, I just get right past it. And some shows I just cancel altogether. Like I said before in another video, there was a show about a warlock. This white woman was a warlock, and I was so into it. But they made her son a homosexual, and he came out talking about live your truth and kissing on another man. And when he said that live your truth, I already knew this is not a scene about homosexuals. This is an agenda. As soon as I heard Live Your Truth, that was it for me. I stopped watching the show. I don't even remember the name of the show. And I really wanted to watch it because the whole premise of what they were doing was good, even though I shouldn't be watching anything that got to do with witches and warlocks. So that's another reason I kind of turned it off too. I don't get into that. There was another series that I was watching on Amazon Prime, and it was about Lovecraft Country. And I was skeptical the whole time before I started watching it. But once I start watching it, and I was getting into it, I was just like, okay, you got monsters. Okay, the filming is good. You have a little modern with a little throwback, of as how black people having a hard time in America. And thinking along that line. But then when I seen them cutting something out of a man's body with the whole outfit on, like he was a druid, I knew what it was. And I tried to give it a chance, and I watched the next series. And the next series, they showed the male lead getting ready to have sex with the female, and when he pulled down his pants, a snake came out. And if you don't know what that means, that is all Adam and Eve stuff, where Eve was sleeping with Adam, where Eve was sleeping with the devil. And so when I saw that, I was like, this is 100% witchcraft. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. So let me read some of your comments. I'm doing good, lady. How are you? Yeah, so I don't want to endure that. I don't want to endure witchcraft in my house. And so instead of calling it witchcraft country, they call it Lovecraft country. And, and the thing about it is, I haven't seen Courtney P. Vance in a long time, who's Angela Bassett's husband. And I like P. Vance. I like him when he's doing like lawyer stuff and when he's an authoritative individual. In Lovecraft Country, he is an uncle who cheated with he cheated with his brother's wife, and so the lead male is might actually be his son. And there's a lot of other stuff going on in Lovecraft, but I couldn't watch it because I just don't want those spirits running around in my house. So, anyways, I just wanted to talk about that. How they're, hey, what's going on? What up, Beats? I just want to talk about just the feminization of men in all of these. And another reason why this is so important is because of COVID-19. COVID-19 has a lot of people on lockdown, so what are you doing? You're watching a lot of TV. You're watching a lot of these series. Like, listen, these series wouldn't have got this much love without COVID-19. They wouldn't have. The only series that was getting this much love without COVID-19 was what? I'm gonna see if y'all know the series that was getting it was getting mad love. There was two of them, but there was one that had everybody shook for 8 years, 8 years running. I'm gonna see y'all know the series I'm talking about. But there were one or two of them that were really good, but there was one who had the number one spot, and that was it. And that was getting a lot of love. A lot of these other series wasn't getting that much love. Game of Thrones, exactly. Your boy LeBron won. I'm done with. Look, I told y'all LeBron was going to end up winning 6 or 7. I say 7. there's no surprise there. It just, I'm not even going there because it's just a whole disappointment. That's why I didn't talk about it. It's just disappointing. It's not even real to me. It's just nonsense to me. I didn't watch it. I don't care about it. Although I do watch this, football highlights. So if you guys want to talk about that one of these days, I can actually get into that a little bit more. I haven't done a sports video in a long time, and I know some of you guys here for sports, so I might start doing some highlights, especially when I just saw the Steelers go up against the Cowboys and almost lost to the Cowboys. Right now, Steelers are undefeated. I think they're 8-0. So big ups to Steelers. You guys know I'm from Pittsburgh. But yeah, so it's the feminization of men. It's the agenda behind a lot of these shows. Now there was one other show that was doing very good too, but it wasn't a an adult show, and that was Stranger Things. But the number one show was Game of Thrones, and it was an adult show. Uh, it wasn't. It was an adult show that didn't have a lot of didn't have a lot of black people in it, but it still had some in there. But it kept black people's interest because the writing in it was so good. The action scenes were just off the chain. Everybody knows that. But the writing, the words, you hung on to whatever Littlefinger said, knowing that he was manipulated and started the whole thing with John Aaron. You were just like, that dude, Littlefinger, is on some whole other stuff. Is he gonna get Sansa? What's gonna happen to the North? And big ups to Game of Thrones because they're coming out with a an extension of that, but it was all before the actual Game of Thrones happened. It's the whole battle of the Dance of the Dragons. So that's going to be off the chain. We're going to get to see all the dragons. We're going to get to see all that. And I just can't wait to see it. So, yeah, Game of Thrones was number one. No other show was really hitting that hard as far as a series where everybody was talking about it, where people were like, don't call me at 9 o'clock on, on Sunday. Don't call me. I mean, the Red Wedding was so big. You know what I'm saying? But it was the dialogue that really, really got you. You wanted to know what Peter Dinklage said. So Watchmen is kind of like that to me. So when I miss dialogue, I'm disappointed. But when I keep seeing Netflix, Amazon, HBO push this agenda that they think everybody is okay with, it's like, hey, it's 2020, man, get over it. Nah, you no, you just don't look at stuff and say, I mean, did you look at cuties and get over it? No, you got pissed off because somewhere in the world, there's a parent looking at cuties and they have an 8-year-old, 9-year-old girl, and they're just like, I don't want my little girl doing this. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that. I really want to watch I really don't want to watch much TV. Uh, are pushing too much. I know that is just not good to have. Be careful who you invite. Exactly, and that's my whole point. That's my whole point. I mean, it's just some things I cannot watch. I told you guys before, these spirits will come right through your TV. And you guys got to be careful of what you're watching. And I tried it with Lovecraft Country because I was thinking it was going to be, I was hoping it was going to be different, but it is nothing but the devil. Just because it's about black people doesn't mean it's going to be good for black people. And I'm telling you now, don't watch Lovecraft Country. Don't watch it at all. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you just got to be careful of the stuff that you watch. You read a lot? I don't read that. I read the news in the morning. My nose is running, people. I'm sorry. I read the news in the morning. Sorry, you guys, I got a cold. Apologize. I read the news in the morning and I read the news at night. And I read the Bible at night. So News in the morning. That's my daily routine. I get up, I read a couple scriptures, but I don't read too heavy of the Bible until the nighttime. And right before I go to bed, I read the Word. But I get up, hit my computer, read a couple scriptures to start off with. Thank God for the day. Then I go straight to World Star Hip Hop. And I look at all the terrible stuff people are doing to each other. And then after I look at that, I might, read some new stuff, hit YouTube, stuff like that. But I'll read a few things. Other than that, it's, clean up my house and figure out, am I working today or not? Depends on who calls me. And if not, then it's, just little stuff. It's mostly just relaxing. Uh, because when I go to work, sometimes it hits me hard. You know what I'm saying? I might get 3 orders in one day. A lot of television shows has ruined people, how they think, especially the young. I know, and there's a lot of going after the younger people. There's a lot of going after kids. There's a lot of these baby dolls that they got that if you take the baby doll and you take all the clothes off of it and you put it in cold water, the baby doll has lingerie on. What? What kind of evil? What kind of what kind of evil do you have in your heart? That 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 is 100% evil. Listen, okay, in the series I'm watching, Watchmen, one of the tricks that they use, this is the reason why I really like Watchmen, but the gay scenes, I'm not doing it, is they were using a projector. So what happens is a bunch of cops are called on a scene, in the 40s because all these black people inside of a theater all of a sudden start killing each other and start ripping each other apart. So a black officer walks in and he looks at one of the women who's sitting there shaking, and there's a bunch of dead bodies around, and he said, "What happened here?" She said there was a blinking light, and the light just told me to start killing other black people and don't harm, like don't harm anybody else. Just kill black people. So she started killing people who were right there in the crowd, and then all the other black people did the same thing. Well, once the black guy started investigating, he found out that they were using a projector and a to program you to think a certain way. Now we've talked about this on TV. With TV, the TV will make you think a certain way. Advertisements, and I covered this a long time ago. Advertisements will make you think a certain way. I do not have a TV. I stopped watching TV years ago. I don't have one. I noticed that the commercials were every 7.5 minutes. And I noticed that commercials were more and more frequent. And then for a half an hour show, you barely got 17 minutes out of a half an hour show, barely. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. There are so many commercials, and the commercials are lasting longer and longer, and the commercials cost more and more. And it's just, I mean, this is, and then the television show isn't paying the people like Friends. When Friends was at its pinnacle, they started asking for more money. The reason why they were getting $1 million an episode, it wasn't because of the network, even though, of course, more people were watching it. It wasn't the network that was getting them more money. That really wasn't the reason. It was the people who wanted the commercial space. Now, these basketball, football players, they're making all this money. It's not because the NFL is paying them. It's because the NFL is making money off of these commercial people. So when they make these deals, they're just like, okay, I'm making a deal with you, and I'm making a deal with Kraft. I'm making a deal with Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? Because they want that space. You're the new rookie, and you're Ricky Williams in his prime. You're going to do $8 million this year, signing bonus. You're going to do $8 million guaranteed. They got to give you that. Where do you think they're going to get that money from? They're going to get that money from the advertisements. Point blank. They know they're going to make that money because you're playing the football and these people want to see it. They're going to tune into you. So, there's TV has been manipulating people, and that's what they wanted to talk about in Watchmen, how it was manipulating people. And I just thought, when I saw that, I was like, it's rough around the edges the way you guys did it, but I'm glad you did it. And this reminds me of like Sin City and, like I said, Frank Miller, and it reminds me of Spawn and all those. You cannot watch those shows without preparing yourself for something that's very, very graphic. And that's what Watchmen is. Watchmen is a very graphic, uh, no holds bar, nitty gritty. I mean, kids are watching their parents get shot. Nobody is safe, type of thing. And it's just like sometimes I have to just stop watching it and turn on something else, and just watch something that's happy for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't take too much of this, even though it is a reality, but it's not everyone's reality. Like I don't live in that space. I live in this world. I don't live in that space though. I don't wake up every day and know that I'm going to see somebody dismembered. I don't know who does that, but whoever does, God help you, because that's not the way I live right now. Now I did recently apply for a job that was similar to that. Basically, the coroner and the police department, along with the health department, was looking for kind of like a middle person where you would show up on a scene of a death scene, basically, and you wouldn't identify the body. You would it pretty much start an investigation. Even though you weren't the coroner, you weren't the police. There's kind of there's a gray area where somebody fits in, and they have people who educated people, not just random people, go out and say, okay, you're going to report this information to the police and to the coroner before they get here, and or you'll show up while they're here, and then of course CSI people come in, and then they try to figure out the whole who done it, if it's a who done it. So I did apply for that job. I didn't get it, of course, but I would have done that. Because I've seen dead bodies, of course. We've all seen dead bodies before, but I have a uh, I have a conservative interest in figuring out who's done what. I really like the investigative part of figuring things out, and that's probably why I like a lot of these shows, because I like to sit there and think who did it, and then try to figure out the logical and illogical answer of who did it, and then the why did they do it. So that's just the way my brain, it's something I really, I just enjoy doing. But I don't watch a lot of murder mysteries. I don't watch a lot of stuff like that because I don't particularly like murder. I like to figure out who's doing something and why they did it, and will they do it again. Henceforth, my desire is to be in, some of those areas, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get a public health, either a public health or a public safety master's degree, and then probably end up dipping off into something like that. Who knows? Depends on if I want to work with people or not. But it'll all be private contract for me with the Department of Health or something like that. I don't think I'm going to actually work for them because I don't want a boss. I don't want somebody telling me what to do. I want to be able to work with you. I don't want to work for you. So if I want to go on vacation, I don't need you to tell me that I can't. If I want to sleep in until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't want to hear it from you. I don't want to hear that you're fired. I don't want to ever be fired again. So there's that. But the feminization of black men, I'm not having that. Even though, Atlanta, some of you are here because of my Why I Left Atlanta videos. And I was talking about the feminization of black men and how Atlanta is a hub for black men and homosexuality. There was a lady who did a video about a month or two ago, and she said, "Can you guys, the gay black guys?" She was like, "Listen, I love y'all, but can y'all just leave us one man because they love y'all out here?" And she was talking about how the seemingly straight men are sleeping around with these outwardly gay men, and they really like sleeping with these men. Now, when I lived in Atlanta, of course that was going on down there, but I didn't see it. It wasn't as outward as it is now. It wasn't as prominent and boisterous as it is now. And I don't live in that circle, so I didn't look for it. I pretty much was working. I had two jobs, so I didn't have time for no nothing. You know what I'm saying? And but now Atlanta is like central for that. And I had a friend who was a musician, and he was of the family, as they call it, and he died of AIDS. Went down to Atlanta, you know, start messing around with some guys in the music industry. When I saw him again, he was 45, 50 pounds lighter. He was so thin. He was still happy, but he was so thin. And he died in '06. And I'm still brokenhearted because of that. Because it's just, he was a good dude, man, but I was always trying to convince him to, let's go chase some ladies. You know what I'm saying? And he was a good looking brother, too. I was always trying to get him to chase some ladies. Like, bro, it's not like women won't, straight people, don't die of AIDS either, but he was a good dude, man, but he was into the wrong things, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah. But, yeah, so the feminization of men, I'm not really for the pushing the agenda of it. But I realize that if you want to watch these shows, you're going to endure this. And I don't want to endure it. And you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that even if there was a show out there, like even if there were writers, okay, here's what I'm thinking. This is HBO. This is home box office. This is the big time, right? This is the big time, especially since Game of Thrones. I mean, it's the big time. You know what I'm saying? Especially during COVID-19. It is the AMC theater. It is the big time. They're doing more business even before COVID. You're doing more business on HBO than you're doing at AMC theaters and all this other stuff. It's the big time. What if you didn't write these scenes in your show? Do you think you'd still get, let's just face it, HBO's exposure? Would you still get HBO and Netflix exposure? You think you would? No. I think you get shut down. I think HBO and Netflix, I think they'd be like, no, we need this in here. See, they try to. I missed some comments. I talked to two people who can't even talk on the phone when their grandchilds are home. The children are reporting what they say and they find it amusing. I see it as very disrespectful and sad. The comments are loud and the voices are annoying. I think you're talking about the homosexuals. Now, here's the thing about homosexuals. Like, do your thing over there. Like, I don't really like. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you're gay. I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want to live your lifestyle. But if you guys got some good business going on and I can get into that, I'll rock with you. Just don't come at me. Like my friends in Germany, they drink, and I told them I don't drink. And you think they didn't try to get me to drink? And like I realized that camaraderie. People want to you to do what they do. That's fine. But if I don't want to do it, then no. And I'll just tell you I don't want to do this. Don't try to come at me and make me do something I don't want to do, because then I'm gonna become violent. I don't like that. I don't like people trying to make me do something I don't want to do. That's just that. I will become violent. I will be looking at you in a violent manner. It's only going to be a matter of very short matter of time. Yes, they're called trades. Yeah, I'm going to be looking at you in a very violent way, and I'm going to either leave, and if you try to stop me from leaving, then there's going to be, in the words of Game of Thrones, Cersei Lannister, I choose violence. And I don't want that because, violence is addicting. The spirit of violence is addicting. And once it gets in you, it wants more. Just like the spirit of lust, the spirit of greed, all those spirits, once those gods get inside of you, they try to take over your body. Next thing you know, you're thinking about it all the time. So, no, I don't want that. I don't want to do that. I want to just go on about my way, and I want peace. So, unless there's some type of, oh yeah, Atlanta's live. But if you don't go into those areas and look for that kind of stuff as a man, you ain't got nothing to do with it. You ain't got nothing to do with it. So I tell people, I was like, if you're not gay and you go to Atlanta, look, you're going to have gays hit on you. But just say no and keep walking. Now, if you entertain it, just like if you said something to a woman and she stopped and entertained your conversation, you're thinking you can get into her pants, point blank. The goal is, I don't care how you go around it. I don't know if you straight up ask her. I don't know if you ask her out to dinner. I don't know how they do nowadays. But eventually the goal is to get in each other's pants. It's the same thing with a homosexual. If he looks at you and I've been hit on by homosexuals before. And some of them will, like this one dude. This one dude is a homosexual. And I used to go to the Gold's Gym. I'm in there lifting, and, he would stare at me. And it would make me feel unfreaking comfortable. And one day he started a conversation with me. And that's when I realized that this dude he's a faggot. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't, sway and talk like a gay dude, but he was a masculine homosexual. So when I finally figured it out, every time he would say something to me every time he would say something to me, period, I was like, nah, my dude, we not doing that. Like, don't talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what your agenda is, and I'm not with it. He would do stuff like I would walk past and he would go or something like that. One day he did that, and I almost killed that man. He set me off so bad. And we was right downtown too, because Gold's Gym was right down. I was ready to beat him. I was like, if you do that, again. I'm gonna beat the out of you, right? Like I wanted him to know I'm not you know, mother. When if you freaking come at me like that again, I'm gonna stick my fist right in your damn eye, and I'm just gonna beat the hell out. I'll beat you so bad. And he was like, "What? I wasn't doing anything." It's the fact that he would keep doing it every time he saw me, and finally, I just got pissed off. See, that's the kind of homosexual. Like, I'm not like you. Don't mess with me. Like, that's what you want to do. Go over there and do that. You know what I'm saying? But don't bring your agenda to me. Don't do that. Don't bring your agenda to me. You know, people are like, oh, you're homophobic. No, I'm not. Don't bring your agenda over here. If I tell you I don't want nothing to do with you, I don't want nothing to do with what you're doing, then don't try to push your agenda on somebody. And I think that's what a lot of these shows are doing. You know, I think they're just trying to push an agenda. And I'm just like, well, what do you want? Everybody to not be able to procreate? You want to artificially assimilate every woman now? So there's no active lovemaking between man and woman? This is what you want? Like, I don't get that. Like, how could you not want the natural order of things to happen? I just, like, why would you? Okay, that's your choice. That's what you want to do over there. But people need to procreate in order for the species to continue, just like every other, single cell organism. So I just don't get the pushing of something that can basically stop humanity. And you're just like, no, we can artificially inseminate. That doesn't always work. You do it, YouTube. Don't you do it. Dang it. I didn't say. Okay, hold on, let me read it. No, I was talking about TV commercials. Oh yeah, loud and annoying. They are loud and annoying. But so are some homosexuals. People want you to do things they do usually are just trying to bring you down. I'm just not with it. It just seems so unnatural the way they're doing things. It doesn't seem like these shows are putting in acts of homosexuality because that's what people did. It seems like there is an agenda to it. It's just because it'll be so. Like I said, if them having sex and like that whole sex scene, when it came on, it was just like boom. It was no leading up to it or nothing. There was no conversation. They were sitting at the table. Uh, you know, the blonde white dude, the black man, and his wife were all sitting at the table. The next scene, the black guy screwing the white guy. Uh, what? And then the wife leaves him, but she doesn't even know that he's screwing a white guy. So there was no significance in the scene. That's when you know it's an agenda. It was like from a writer's point of view. From a writer's point of view, this had no significance whatsoever. It was just nothing. They could have hung out and ate donuts, and the same point would have been across. They became closer. They became friends. I would have understood that. I would have understood a montage of them suiting up and getting ready to go out and fight justice together, and then do a fist bump or something corny. I would have understood that. I would have understood any scene with them together by themselves, conversating over going out and fighting crime. I would have understood that. They're having a conversation. They're making a plan. Now there's two of them instead of one. You don't have to be by yourself. That was the whole premise. The way it was set up, it was the white guy came in and was telling the guy who was hooded justice, the black guy, he was like, "You don't have to fight crime by yourself." Next thing you know, they're knocking boots. It made no sense, and it was pure agenda writing. It was pure agenda. It made no sense whatever. That whole thing could have been taken out of there. They could have went right to the next scene. Boom, boom. See what the reason why I like a lot of these shows that are well written is, for one, I like to write. I used to. I don't write anymore. But I wrote a book called The Sorrow King. I wrote songs. You guys can hear my music. You hear the songs I've written. Uh, I like to write. You know what I'm saying? I like a good story, but it has to match. You can't just have words out there that don't mean anything. They have to all tie together. And when they do, it's like a beautiful symphony. It's just so awesome when everything comes together. Boom, 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 boom. It's like, oh my God, those are the best songs. Those are the best movies. Like The Notebook. The Notebook was so well written. Shawshank Redemption, a very well written movie. Cold Comfort Farm, very, very well written. There's even some movies that are well written in their action movies. A lot of the Mission Impossible movies. It was an action movie that's well written. Inception, well written. They knew what they were doing. It was an action movie that was well written. You can't get past Inception. Leonardo DiCaprio is just so good. It's just like, damn, this movie is good. Hey Tone, do you think Kamala Harris will be the first woman president by default? No. I have to say, gay guys have treated me with more respect than you're a woman, than so-called Christian women. Long as you respect me, I respect that you're a woman. Gay guys don't want anything from you except to be like you. Gay guys don't hunt you. They don't look at you with wanting eyes. They don't desire you. What's between your legs, and they're trying to emulate what's between your legs. So they want to be like you, so they're nice to you. They want to see your mannerism, your ways. What makes you happy, what doesn't. They're trying their best to mock you, or not mock you, to emulate you in order so they can catch the same prize that you catch. But what they're doing is 100% unnatural. And the act of what they're doing, and the way they're trying to attract somebody, they're trying to use an unnatural spirit to try to perform a natural act, which is totally messed up. I mean, that's messed up on so many levels. When you start to look at it, it says, well, wait, what? This is totally screwed up. You know what I'm saying? So no, gay guys won't be offended by you whatsoever. They'll welcome you, because the more feminine energy that's in the room, the more feminine they act. The more they try hard, the more they shake their head and do all kind of extra stuff that's just women don't do. That's why. That's why when you look at somebody who's like a feminine gay, they're the most boisterous. They're the loudest. They switch the hardest. They're doing what you call the most, and you as a woman are looking at them going, I have never, never ever done anything like that, and neither have any woman I know. We don't walk like that. We don't talk like that. We don't. We just don't do those things. That's because what they're doing is unnatural, and it's a spirit. It is an unnatural act. So no, I don't want this from you. As far as Kamala Harris, just because you're the vice president doesn't mean you're becoming a president. No, Sleepy Joe has been at it for what, 20 years, 20, 30 years? Been trying to get into the president for 20, 30 years. So Kamala Harris, I don't think that she'll become. I don't think that she'll become president. I think that she'll do her term. And let's get this right. Let's get this right. Sleepy Joe, even though it took him a long time, he's there at the right time. Joe Biden, Joe Biden is in office because it's the right time for Joe Biden to be in office. And I've talked about this in my video yesterday, but nonetheless, it's the right time for Joe Biden to be in office. And he used Kamala Harris as a crutch. He didn't use her because she was the best candidate. He used her to get what he wanted, which was the votes of the black people and the votes of Indian people, the votes of some Jewish people. And he did that. He was smart about it. And of course, the votes of the females. He was very, very smart. Okay, if you just rewind and go back to Hillary Clinton, Hillary Clinton won the popular votes by 3 million. Do you think the majority of those people who voted for Hillary Clinton were male? No, they were females. And then they threatened Obama, saying if you don't make her like something important, like we're going to scream bloody murder. And Obama knew that. That's why he put her in as secretary of whatever the hell she is. But she won the popular vote. If the presidency was ran on popular votes, Hillary Clinton would have been our president for the last, what, at least 4 years. So you got to understand that Joe Biden, he wasn't stupid. He saw that. He's just like, oh, okay. Well, all these women voted for a woman. They didn't really care what color she was. So I'll double up on that and get a, half black woman in here. And then go on live and say, if you not vote for me, you're not black. This is what Joe said. So he was, him and his campaign people were very smart in picking up, because Joe could have went and picked up, hell, he could have went and picked up Senator Kerry. Wouldn't have broken egg. Would have still been in stride. He could have picked up Bernie Sanders, easily. Or he could have picked up some of them Democratic women, a couple of them who ran for office, easily, and would have still been in stride. But he wouldn't have got the votes of the double minority, and that's what he was after. He wanted to go right into the hood. He wanted to go right into any rural areas. He wanted to cover all of his bases, and that's just what he did. So no, I don't believe Kamala Harris is going to be a president. I don't think she's going to be president at all. But do I think she's going to run? Absolutely. I think Joe Biden is going to be the president for 8 years. I don't think anyone, and I'm just going to say this boldly because of who we saw step up to try to challenge, and there was no suitable challenger. There, there, who do you have out there now? Okay, just take out now. Here's the real thing. Donald Trump can still run for office. He was in for only 4 years. You get 2 terms. He could run again. But just take both sides, even the Green Party, even Kanye West. Who do you think is going to run against Joe Biden and possibly be a threat other than Donald Trump? No one. Joe Biden had over 74 million votes. I don't hang out with them. I mostly see them when I go. Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. But I wanted to cover the question that somebody asked me. I didn't just want to say anything. Be at ease. So I'm hoping I know I'm a little long winded, but you can stop me when you think you got your question answered. But nonetheless, what I'm saying is there's no one who can match Joe Biden's stride at this point because of this point in time. Now, 4 years from now, we're going to see how, good he's doing. I don't think there's going to be a lot of change for black people, but I think there's going to be significant change for people who are trying to come into the country, for people who are being deported. Oh yeah, he's still crying foul. For people being deported, Trump deported a lot of people. He got rid of them. So there's a lot going on that Trump did that Joe's going to reverse. Joe's going to reverse that. And because Joe's going to reverse that, this is the reason why he's a staple. This is the reason why he's a president. Because he's reversing a lot of the make white America great again. He's like, nah, make America great again. Make America great, okay, fine. But we ain't gonna make white America great. You can forget that. All those migrant workers, where do you think they come from? You think they're white? Absolutely not. They're Latinos. They're Hispanics. That's who they are. You're not gonna get rid of them. You need to give them a raise and some insurance and tell them to keep chucking. How do you think some of your stuff gets to the shelves? Migrant workers. Nuh-uh. Joe knows that. Camilla knows that too, but I don't think she'll be president. I don't think she'll ever be president. We miss you in Atlanta. I'm not making any home in Atlanta. I told you if I come back to Atlanta, it'll be on the outskirts. I'll live in Kennesaw, up there, some little house in Kennesaw, tucked away. Go to Kennesaw State, probably get a biology degree or something, just to do it. I know I'm going to end up with a biology degree, but I don't need it. I just like studying biology. You know what I mean? But yeah, Joe Biden is the president. There's the president's crime file. He's trying to say that the late votes all went to Joe Biden. The late votes, 90% of the late votes went to Joe Biden because they were mailed in. Mr. President, you told your people to stand in line instead of mailing them in. All of your people came out and they voted. Boom. Those are your votes. You got all your votes. 97 million people came out. Boom. A lot of your votes came out and hit you at the beginning. So you thought you won on Tuesday. You're like, it should end on Tuesday. That's where they were like, stop the count. No, that's not fair. That's not how this goes. That's not how this goes. Oh, we won the votes. We got 13. Not to mention, Mr. President, you wanted to stop the count when you only had 13 electoral votes, and Joe Biden had like 4. The race is to 270. So there is no reason whatsoever to stop the count when the electoral votes haven't even been reached. In other words, the delegates and superdelegates did not vote. The electoral college didn't vote, Mr. President, and guess what? You can't stop the votes. Camilla's women around the world. I never like statements like that. Yeah, I don't either. If Trump runs again, no, he won't win. But he has a head of steam, is what I'm saying. I mean, who's gonna come out and run against Joe Biden? Chris Christie, Giuliani. I mean, any Democrat can come up too, but on the Republican side, who? No one. No one has that head of steam either. Trump has that head of steam. Of course, he wouldn't win, but in 4 years from now, I can't see anyone stepping up with a full head of steam that the whole Republican Party is going to get behind. I can't see that. I really like those sunglasses on you. I remember when you got them. These are new. I just got these. The other ones that you were talking about, my other aviator glasses, the lens messed up on them, so I had to buy these. But I got them from the same company. Yeah, got this cool little pack. Fossil. I like aviator glasses. Yeah, there's nobody who has a head of steam to run against Sleepy Joe. And as far as them crying foul, they have lawsuits. Those lawsuits aren't going to do a damn thing. And they're talking about the media has claimed Joe Biden won. The, me- the media reported Joe Biden won simply because of the states that Joe Biden was waiting on. I don't know if it's Nevada or what. I think it was Nevada, Pennsylvania, Florida, and a couple others. I'm not sure what states they were. But the states that they were waiting on when Joe Biden had 264, all he was waiting on was a couple more states. And when one state, gave him the super delegates that he need, they announced him the winner. That's how it goes. Is the like the media didn't make the decision. The media waited to see who the super delegates and the delegates were and were going for in those states. And once they made up their mind, that was it. He is a disabled vet with the eye patch. Oh, wait, I got another comment. Sup, bro? You like the BS game? The Steelers won. We coming out of Ohio this week. You talking about the game against the Cowboys? Yeah, I looked at the highlights. I didn't think they was gonna win. Here's a disabled vet with the eye patch. Who's a disabled vet with the eye patch? Uh, if Joe reverse orders, the House will probably block him. If Joe reversed those orders, the House will probably block him like they did Obama. Remember, the they showed their true colors. I don't know what you're talking about. If he reversed the orders, well, that's why the media claim that he won. The media doesn't make the decision; they report it, and they simply reported the truth. Joe had 264. They waited for those last few states to make up their mind, and once one of them put him over 270, the race is to 270. Once one state put him over 270, even though the other states were counting, that was the end of the race. That's when the media starts, and CNN and all them were just like, oh, it's over. 270 electoral votes, the race is over with. Joe Biden said his first 100 days will be for immigrants in the LGBT community. Good for Joe. I think he should support both communities. I know he's already jumped on the healthcare issue. He went right after that before he was even elected. Once they figured out that, he said, once I knew that I was going to win, I called in Kamala Harris and we're just like, let's go after the healthcare bill. Let's reverse everything Trump did and make sure the Obamacare, and that's still going on in order. See, Joe's position is he really wants to go after the coronavirus. Like he's already picked himself another. Uh, I don't know if he picked another Surgeon General. I don't think he should. I think he should keep the same Surgeon General, but I think he's getting rid of Dr. Fauci and bringing in somebody else. I think he should do that. Joe really wants to go after the coronavirus with like his whole cabinet. He wants, like, he's not playing around. Like, listen, we got people dropping off the planet. We're not doing that. If you're not about, getting rid of coronavirus, I'm not interested in you. So he's got a real burning in his heart for the coronavirus, and that's good because we keep losing people in the United States. I mean, 200,000 can turn into 2 million, especially now that we've all come back out pretty much. He's trying to also represent keeping your mask on. When you go outside and you're amongst people, put your mask on. So that's why he's been masked up. He's not doing like Donald Trump did. You don't need a mask. I'm not wearing a mask. And then he gets the COVID. Nah, he's like, no, put on a mask. So, a lot of mandates that were handed down, to put these masks on, he's going to enforce that. Heck, he might start penalizing people. I say you take some sunglasses out of the box about a month. Oh, these might be it. These might be the same ones. Yeah, they're the same ones. They say the stock. Yeah, the stock soared today. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. 100% the stock soared today. Oh, there's money to be made now. And the stimulus. Listen, Joe's really going to make a lot of people happy if he goes ahead and releases a stimulus check. Like, soon. We never got the second stimulus check. We never got it. It never happened. Some countries, they get a stimulus check every month. But I think Joe is, he's going to be like, what's up with the money? Everybody mad. I think Joe's going to release another stimulus check. What is it, November? I think we're going to get it. Listen, I'm just being optimistic, but I think Joe is so trying to be so for and by the people that I think we're going to get a stimulus check before the end of this year. Heck, we might get one before the end of the month. No, wait a minute. By the 26th, Joe has to be? Nah, we won't get one by the end of the month. Because when is the inaugural? It's like the 26th or something like that? We'll probably get one by the... Hey. We'll get one before Christmas. And Joe is saying, Merry Christmas. Watch. Watch him do it. Watch him do it. Watch him do some craziness like that. Joe be like, I just want to tell my people, Merry Christmas. We're going to have a stimulus check. It's going to be out by the 18th. Boom. I mean, you can't do nothing but cheer for that. I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're not going to see any bad out of Joe until about a year and a half from now. We're going to see him do something that we don't like. And he's going to explain it away some kind of way, or he'll have Camilla Harris do it. But he might get a few dings. But I don't think that he is a godsend. I just think he's a lot better for the country and for unification of the country. I think he's a lot better. Hell, I hope he doesn't have to push the button at any time soon. Like, I hope somebody doesn't try him, because that would be messed up, wouldn't it? Iran is already trying him. But I hope Putin doesn't try him, because that dude doesn't play. But I'm just hoping nobody thinks he's soft and then try to, roll up on Joe in America like we're in shambles. No, you'll see unification real quick. You come over here and try to start some stuff. Like when they released those two jet fighters, they weren't even jet fighters. When Russia released those two fighters that were flying towards France, they were bombers. They were supersonic bombers. I remember that last year. They released those two supersonic bombers and was flying towards France. Uh-uh. Don't do that. No, 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 no. You're gonna see people forget about the Joe versus Trump real quick. You're gonna see the unification of America real fast. You start flying bombers anywhere close to us. Russia's got a ship that sits 30 miles right off of our coast. And they just sit there and observe. That's their job. But it's legal. It's neutral water. Sitting 30 miles right off the coast. They monitor that ship every day. They got eyes on that ship. And it just sits there. They are not the only communities they should focus on. Of course, COVID-19 should be top, but gays and immigrants are not. Oh, hell no. Hell no, absolutely not. I mean, I don't, when they say they're going to concentrate on LGBTQ, I'm wondering to do what exactly? Just wondering what they're concentrating on. It's going all right. How are you? You know what I'm saying? Like LGBTQ, like what do you like? I don't know what they're pushing for. They wanted marriage. Okay, you got marriage. You wanted to be able to raise a child in a single sex home. Fine. So I'm not in the community, so I don't know what all their issues are. But when I look at the LGBTQ community, after marriage, it's like, what else do you want? And I'm not being condescending. I mean, like, what else is there other than human rights? Like, if you're talking about going into the bathroom, the same bathroom that, like, a man can walk into a woman's bathroom, they made they made bathrooms where one person can walk in and lock the door. A man and a woman can use that bathroom. Okay. But if you're talking about going into a bathroom where there are four stalls, in the female's bathroom, there are four stalls, and a full grown, 100% man can walk in there just because he's saying that he's, LGBTQ, and there's a woman in there, or there's a female child in there. No, no, no. LGBTQ, no, nope. I don't care what the president says. Not any child of mine. You asking for it. I'm gonna give it to you. You gonna catch a L. Trump too busy tweeting insults, focusing. Trump is he's just hurt because he knows the results, and he knows it's all his fault. But yeah, so we had an incident like that where some little girl was in the bathroom and some guy was like, "Well, I identify as a woman, so I'm gonna go in here in this bathroom where your little girl is. Got her little, she's doing her thing, so I'm gonna go." Man, you gonna get shot in the face is what's gonna happen. You know, you're not going in there. You're going to get shot right in the face right now, and I'm going to go to court, and I'm going to sit there and be like, yeah, I'm protecting my child. And I don't care what any of you have to say about it. I think the stimulus check may come out in time for Christmas. That's what I'm saying. And well, it won't only boost the economy; it'll boost the morale. Well, the economy is already going to get boosted, and it's already happening now. The economy's getting boosted. It's already happening now. Once the stock market starts going up, boom, it's boosting the economy. Now, Joe can keep that momentum going and go ahead and release a stimulus check and worry about it later. We already know that you're going to tax the hell out of everyone. We already know that, Joe. So just go ahead and send that money out. Just don't send it to any dead people. A lot of those stimulus checks went out to dead people. Don't stop the money that was going out for small business loans because of Corona. Don't stop that, Joe. That's still a thing. Like, don't stop that. President Trump had a good idea when he did that. Just like Obama did. It was a good idea when he released that money through AIT. Problem is, people took advantage of it. Building number 6. People are going to take advantage of it. So yeah, Joe can release that money. I think he's going to keep his eye on the common people. I think that's what he's going to do. I'm hoping that's what he does. Keep your eye on the everyday people. The rich people aren't the ones who keep this country going. It's the everyday worker that keeps the country going. And now you know that because coronavirus hit so hard, all these people lost their jobs, and what happened to the country? It started tanking financially. It's because we, the people, are the ones who keep this place going. It's not the freaking rich who owns everything. No, it's we, the people, who keep the ship right. And without us getting out here and working every day, there goes your income. America needs to be at work. Wheezy bang, what's that mean? America needs to be at work. Here's one thing I hope Joe doesn't do. I hope he doesn't open everything up. I don't think he will because he's very coronavirus conscious. So I hope he doesn't just say, the hell with coronavirus, let's everybody get out there and get to work. All these factories and put all these factories to work. I think that's going to hurt him in the short run. I think it'll be a big mistake because he's going to see a spike in numbers. And we've already spiked. So he's got that, careful dance of these people want to go back to work, but I can't let them go back to work because of corona numbers. But if I keep them inside too long, they're all going to rebel. See, he doesn't have to deal with that as much as Donald Trump did. Donald Trump was not the voice of reason when it came to the coronavirus. they have men and women public bathrooms in New York. We have them here. But if I had a daughter, say my daughter was, well, just any age, I'm not gonna let her go into the bathroom with a full grown man in there and me stand outside. I'm not. I'm coming in. I'm coming in. Nah, nah, G, you're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. Not whatsoever. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna be standing right outside her stall. She might be uncomfortable, but I don't care. If he's allowed to come in, then okay, then we all going in, bro. All right, do your thing. we we all be huddled up in that piece like, what's good? I'm not having that. But I don't have to face that issue. But I mean, if I start dating a young lady and she has children, already has children, then I have to watch over them. And I have to protect them the best way I can. And if I gotta, watch over them like that, then I will. I'm not playing that, especially if it's a child, preteen, little 8, 9 year old. Man, I will gladly catch a case over a child. I will gladly catch a case over protecting a child. Gladly, I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't even think about it. It wouldn't even be this. It would just be 100% reaction. I just catch a case and I just go sit in the bank. And they ask me what I'm here for and be like, I was protecting my kid. I did it and I'll do it again. And I just do my time. That's it. I'm not having none of that. I don't agree with unisex bathrooms. I don't agree with the same sex being in the bathroom at the same time. Not unless you girlfriend and boyfriend. I don't agree with that at all. I don't. I don't agree with it because America has too many rape cases going on. You know, these females out here coming up. Adrian Bruner got sued for $800,000 because he kissed a girl. Excuse me, woman in the club. Shoved his tongue right down her throat. You all buzzed out in the club. You thinking you can do what you want. Well, she told him to stop. And then his boy was like, yo, man, chill. But he's all off of Patron or whatever they drank. Well, she went and called a lawyer. They put him in jail because he wasn't paying it. He's in jail right now because he wasn't paying it. 50 Cent got sued for $5 million because he released a videotape of Rick Ross's baby mama having sex with somebody else just because he wanted to get at Rick Ross. He wanted to troll Rick Ross. And he had a videotape of his baby's mom having sex with another man. And he released the videotape. She sued him for $5 million and won. Hulk Hogan won a lawsuit for $120 million because he was having sex with somebody he shouldn't have been, and they released the videotape of it. on purpose. See, you can have a tape of somebody, but you can't disseminate it. You can have pictures, but you can't disseminate them. You talking about De Blasio? I saw a video where he's getting cussed out today. Not everybody likes him. I think you're talking about De Blasio. Anyway, so I think the close quarters of men and women who don't know each other ends up in allegations. Look at the woman who wants to sue. I was leaving the bathroom when two gay guys that worked at the restaurant were going in. Yeah, well, they weren't going in there to use the bathroom. I can't do that. Just the allegations. The court system is not designed to help everyone. The man loses in the courts more than the woman does. She can make a false claim and you're guilty until innocent when you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Any woman can make a claim against you and the police have to investigate it. They have to. Now, when they find out that it's not true and you countersue them, you have police evidence that says that you didn't do what she said you did. Now you owe them. I mean, it's even gotten so bad that in France, a woman made a false claim. I should go beat this. A woman made a false claim against, I think it was Chris Brown. I think it was. And kind of find out that wasn't true. And they said, the police put out a report. They said, if we find out that it's not true, the woman can actually go to jail. She's like so that's what they do in France. If they find out that a woman has made a false allegation against a man, that can result in the loss of finances. Or was it? No, it was against Drake. I think it was against Drake. That can result in the loss of course, finances from lawyers, and of course, jail time. Well, then guess what? That woman is, if it's not true, then she's going to jail. So it's different. In some other countries, now they're all about protecting the woman, and so am I. Protect the women. I think that everybody should be protected, though. But if you're going to let women make all these allegations and have no proof whatsoever, just make allegations, then it's going to dilute the integrity of the court system. And once you do that, nobody's going to trust in the court system. And when people no longer trust in the court system, then you have mayhem. You have anarchy. You're not just dealing with a little injustice, you're dealing with a wide range of injustice now. Now you're looking at people taking justice and they're putting justice in their own hands, and they'll kill the woman. Because you're just like, I didn't do this to you. And you're about to I have a woman, I'm married, I have children, I'm an upstanding person, I have a job, and everything, and I'm gonna lose all of it over some nonsense that you made up just because I don't want to be with you? And we're finding women who actually do this. So what happens? The guy realizes that his life is about to be over. He's about to do time. Everything he worked for, he's probably a doctor or something. Once you lose your license, that's pretty much it. You're in your 40s, you're not getting any younger. You have a son in college or a daughter in college. You're a prominent figure in your neighborhood, and you're about to lose everything. And once the police start knocking at your door, they don't want to believe you. He's going to start making plans to knock you off. We've seen it happen. We've seen people completely afraid of the law. Completely afraid. They don't want to deal with the law. They're just like, I don't want to deal with this. Women falsely accusing a black comedian, and he had her arrested. Great, yeah. You're going to have these goofy girls arrested, making claims against you that just didn't happen. You have guys who go and do 10 years in jail until they find out. In the one case, the girl, the football player kissed this girl, and they were in high school. He was one grade ahead of her. He kissed her in an elevator, and she said he raped her. She got $1.5 million. He did 10 years before she actually came out and said it didn't happen. I wanted to beat her up because this guy could have went, to a D1 school. We're not going to say the NFL because there's only one